All right. Congressman Pat Fallon of Texas is a member of the House Armed Services Committee and joins us now. Thanks for your time. What do you make of this new threat? We know that they've had an overarching, goal of killing the president for many years now, but enough that he switches planes coming back from the NATO summit. Are you concerned?
Better safe than sorry, certainly, when you're considering that, when you're talking about the president of the United States. The IRGC, I think, is behind all of this at the end of the day. And I'm not surprised. They really have never changed their tune. They say one thing and they do another. So I'm glad to see the president really just unequivocally saying the ceasefire is over. We'll continue to talk. And at the same time, we're going to seek a military solution because the IRGC really leaves him no choice.
Well, speaking of the IRGC, a spokesperson for the Iranian parliament said this on X, quote, Trump has once again spoken of occupying Karg Island. Come on, we're waiting for you, and we promise that not even a single American soldier will return alive. Now, Iran's Revolutionary Guard is also saying that if U.S. aggression is repeated, American bases in the region will be targeted amidst this. And this comes as the FBI announcing that 113 active spies from foreign countries are now under arrest. Director Kash Patel saying that counterintelligence arrests have jumped 53%. Congressman, your thoughts, given your insights on Capitol Hill, about these measures that the FBI is taking to keep the U.S. safe?
I think Director Patel has done a fantastic job. He's I also believe he'll go down in history as one of the most effective FBI directors we've ever had. So I applaud him there. I do think that the IRGC will follow through on those threats to hit, or at least attempt to hit, bases and U.S. bases in the Middle East region. And the bluster about not one American soldier or military member would come back alive, that kind of thing, it really harkens back to some odd years ago with Saddam Hussein saying the same thing, that it was going to be the mother of all battles. And how did that end up turning out?
Yeah, it harkens back to Baghdad Bob. I think that was his name. You remember that? And he would just say the wildest things, but with complete and utter confidence. And that's what you're really getting here. What signal does that send to the rest of the Gulf nations? Because Iran shouldn't be putting forward this face of, we're on top, we're calling the shots, and we can take whatever you bring.
When you have extremists in power like they are, really, again, I think the IRGC is calling the shots from behind the scenes, and really the veil has been pulled over as well. And the facade is just that. They are radicals. They are literally, many of them are true believing, and they're insane. So just like so many others, think about how radicalized Imperial Japan was. And they had kamikaze attacks. They had charges that were suicidal. Well, the IRGC, the best English they understand is a gun to the face. And it's unfortunate, but we're going to have to break their back to get peace in that region.
Switching gears here a little bit, as James Comer's term limit nears, you have thrown your hat in the ring for the role of House Oversight and Government Reform Committee Chairman. So what prompted you to launch this bid?
The Oversight Committee is an interesting committee because it can be nothing or it can be everything. And it has a broad umbrella and vast subpoena power. And Jamie Comer has done a fantastic job. I've been on the committee with him for these 6 years. And we really need to take that gavel, hold it if we can hold the House, and investigate the billions, if not trillions of dollars worth of fraud that we have uncovered over the last, specifically the last 2 years. That's the first thing. We have to fight back on wokeism. The left owns so many different mediums of communication. They're very dominant with TV, Hollywood, the universities, and we need to combat that with just simple truths. And somebody needs to be a fierce advocate for the American taxpayer. And that's really, there's several different things you can do as chair of the Oversight Committee, but really those are the prime ones that we need to focus on.
Yeah, Congressman, the fraud in our social services areas is just stunning as we keep on hearing about more and more, and finally getting that big guilty plea up in Minnesota. But thank you very much for joining us this morning, and good luck in your endeavor to take over.
Thank you, ladies. Take care. God bless.
Thank you.